Hi, everyone. I'm Clint Reynolds, your current PWNA president. Wanted to doing something a little new tonight, bringing some guests and bringing a couple board members. We Today we've got our membership committee board members, Nick Bibick and Joy Miller. Thanks, guys,
Hello.
for being
Hi
on the
guys.
call. And just want to talk to you a little bit about being a PWNA member. We want to bring all the benefits we can to our members. So it not only allows you access to all of our learning tools, discounts, and so much more, but we obviously want to put out as much as we can that will benefit our membership. The board of directors wants all our members to feel welcome, and we want to engage with our PWNA members in building relationships that can positively affect our industry. In doing so, we are highlighting a PWNA industry partner member tonight, right here. And Joy, can you tell viewers a little bit more about our special guest today?
Absolutely, I can. Thank you for the intro, President Clint. Today, we have the pleasure of having Tracy and Kimberly Hondo with us. Tracy and Kim are the proud owners of North America Pressure Wash Outlet. I've known them for a while now, great people, and we are so grateful that you could be here with us today.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Hi. Hi. I still have the cup that you made me, Kim. I love it. First of all, the PWNA wants to recognize you and your company for all of the commitment and hard work that you have dedicated to being PWNA members through our industry partner membership that is offered. And today we're so happy to let our viewers and our members learn more about your business and how you're involved with the PWNA. Now, I've seen it with my own two eyes. You two are a power couple in the industry. How did you get started in your business?
Well, when I originally got into pressure washing, I was working for another company. I was primarily doing wood care at the time. That blossomed into a store, which then moved me into kind of helping run the store while I was still managing the deck department back then. Eventually, I think I spent about 15 years at that place. When I went out on my own, we started here. I've been running the store side and the supply side ever since then. And it was really, it's amazing because it was a journey I did not expect. But that's how I got started. And then Kim asked me one day, kind of near the end of my original working at the other place, hey, let's start a business. And it's been fun ever since.
That's it. That's it.
That's great. So you two knew each other when you were getting into this together at the beginning. That's fantastic.
We were insane, Joy, because we were just dating.
Ah, wow.
We were just dating. Yes. Yes. This was, it was a very big leap of faith for lots of, just lots of things. It was a lot of change, a lot of luck, lot of fun.
I also enjoyed building the business. I did it at the first place. We kind of had built the store from scratch there. So when I started my own, I sort of knew how to do it. And there were certain things that I certainly could do better the second time around. And so it was always a lot of fun building the business, not as well as running it, but, just starting it off and getting it going. Had a lot of fun doing that.
That's good. And I can see how you two feed off of each other. That's great. So why don't you share with our viewers what North American Pressure Wash Outlet is and what you offer today. What is your store all about?
Anything and everything for the pressure wash professional. That's probably a too big a description, but we have access to about 5,000 different products. We do help individuals not only in the pressure washing industry, but what we have found over the years, which is really interesting, is the number of feeder industries that also come into our particular industry and universe. Mm-hmm. We've had interesting customers like SeaWorld.
Oh, wow.
NASA, a lot of food manufacturers that we deal with. It's really interesting where the industry will take you. But for our commercial pressure washers that we work with, it's like I said, basically everything that they need. And if we don't have access to it, we know somebody who does have access to it.
And I think first and foremost, we pride ourselves on service. I know we go out of our way to provide the best service we can. It takes a lot of effort that I find a lot of companies just don't follow nowadays. I know when Kim talked to me about starting a business, the very first thing I said was, well, no matter what, we're going to give service, because no matter what else we do, if we're providing them a good service with quality products, there's no way we can lose. And I think we've pretty well done that over the last 10, 11 years at least. And it stands to show because we have some very loyal customers.
You do. And I think that comes naturally for you two. I've known you two probably for about 10 years now, and you're very approachable, and we can talk a little bit more about that later as well. But anytime anyone has a question, you're always there wanting to answer and wanting to help, and not making them feel belittled by any ways, because they are new and people come in, we have questions, right?
Well, and I have a unique experience with that, because when I started in this industry, as a kind of a second job at the first place I worked, I would take phone calls at night. Unbeknownst to me, everybody had questions back then, and I didn't always have the answers. And so I kind of became a question answer guy kind of just by accident. But I have found that if you can help people understand what they're either trying to buy or how to use the products that they're getting, they're much more happy with your service. It helps them understand, therefore they'll be successful, and they typically come back.
Right. So you two were dating, you started this business up together as a couple. How long have you been in business for? How long ago was that?
2001. 12 years.
We started dating like in 2011, and the business concept was in play by the end of 2011. So, I mean, it was a lot. It was rapid fire.
It was going fast.
It was. It really did.
We married though in 2014. So.
Wow.
Well, when you try, anybody who started a business knows it's 24/7 there in the beginning. It's, build a business boot camp. You just, every waking minute is nothing but that in the beginning. And then you want me to plan a wedding?
Well, you showed up. That's great. It's a love story after all.
You did it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it did. It took a while. It did. It just took a while for everything, just all of it. I mean, even the business itself, for it to grow and for it to bloom and all of that. It's just, starting a business is tough.
It's tough. It's scary when all your eggs are there, right? You have to make it.
It is.
But it's rewarding.
So when you started your business way back, and what was it like managing your staff then? What was it like you talked a little bit about your customer service, how you've retained your customers. That's great. But how did you find time for each other or your family when you're running your business as a couple?
Staff is a little hard because we got a lot of people come and go.
In the beginning, this was staff. This was him. So I just smack him around a bit. And then over the course of the years, our staff has grown and contracted at various times, depending on election cycles, the economy, COVID.
Sometimes the individuals.
Yeah, sometimes, they look, I'm going to say something, and probably a lot of us have experienced this in this industry, but occasionally, you might have a staff member that goes to jail. And so, you have to deal, not this one, because, in the beginning, he was my only staff. But, sometimes the unexpected happens, and you just have to
roll with the punches. You have to be able to overcome and adapt. I think we can do that pretty well. I think that we run an awful lot of stuff with a very minimal amount of people because we know what we're doing. We've been around, we understand the products, and we understand the process. You have to be careful you're not shipping things to the wrong places or the wrong states. We do an awful lot of shipping. And so just having good procedures in place, things like that, help our business run quite smoothly. There can be hiccups. There always is in any business. I think how we handle them helps us retain our customers. We answer the phone, which is a major thing. I hear so many people who say, you're the fourth person I've called, or the fourth company I've called today, and you're the only one that's answered. So just relying on a major, points that we tend to do well helps us stay in touch with our customers. I think that helps us keep our customers. And then certainly, like I said, our website, we're found very often by new people on the website, and they know they can call in and talk to us.
Tracy's been a big, he's been a big proponent in terms of systems. Everything that we do, there's a process, there's a system. And in the beginning, I was resistant to a lot of his harping on me about some of those things. But we just had a circumstance where he was away from the business for 2.5 months. And I think those systems, I know those systems are what kind of got us through that period of time. So it's important to have those, and for contractors, when you're setting up your businesses, your plans, those type of things, it's important to have those processes, those systems, those checklists, procedures, just to be able to keep things flowing smoothly.
And as I always told Kim, those processes and procedures really came out of usually some problem I had, and I had to find a way to fix it so it didn't happen again. And they work.
Yeah, and then you can tweak it. Like, it is important to have some sort of a system. You can stay a lot more organized and to keep your eyes focused a lot more easily. So your business has grown. You were talking about how you now have the internet working and people are ordering off of there. What is your favorite part of being in business?
For me, it's the people.
What do you get out of it? What do you love about it?
Dealing with people, helping with the people that are out working, trying to make their days go a little smoother. I've always been a people person, so for me, that's probably my favorite.
That's good.
Awesome.
I get to be a personal shopper.
That's fun.
I love it. No, I love that. Working with our customers is a lot of fun. Hearing their stories is a lot of fun, because no kind of entry point into the industry is always the same. There's just always little nuances to everybody's little story, and it's interesting to see where they start and then the potential that they have.
And just like you, Joy, I mean, I have made lifelong friends with people like you and others throughout this entire country, or really throughout this world. I know people all over the place just from being in pressure washing.
That's true. Like, I might have a very small company, but people have no idea how big it is.
Exactly. Because
of the people that I know, and the people that have helped me and the people that I help now. I love that part of the whole community of power washers.
Awesome. Well, this is great getting to know the both of you. To bring it now a little bit back to the PWNA, when did you guys get involved with the PWNA, and how long have you guys been members?
I'm going to start on that one because my involvement with PWNA, it's either 2004, 2005 maybe. I worked at a different company that actually attended the very first, or the owners attended the very first PWNA meetings. And so they were involved since the beginning. I was an employee at the time, but then I started going to the conventions with them. I was the guy dragging in all of the stuff for the booth and that kind of stuff. So I've been around really just, I don't know, I wouldn't call myself a member back in 2005, but for 14, 15 years, I ran around PWNA all the time. And then as a business owner later, well, I found PWNA to be one of the most professional groups out there. Certainly was my home already, and I certainly wanted to stay there.
My experience was a little different. Only because where Tracy said that he, started 2004, 2005, when everything was kind of getting started. My experience wasn't until we were business owners together and we were coming into it. And I wasn't really sure what to expect, kind of from an outsider. He had already had all those experiences. And so for me, I was like a new contractor just kind of coming in and being a little overwhelmed by the whole thing. But the family atmosphere of it was, it was like just going, you could tell with him, it was like a family reunion. It was really neat. It was just a neat experience to go to it, to see all the participants coming in, the excitement. Just it was a very unique experience that first year for me.
I totally agree with you. My first conference and the friendships that I made there, I met Joy, my first conference, and plenty other, not just board members, but contractors. And you look forward to meeting them for the next year's convention and getting to catch up with them and talking, shop with them. You have people that you're talking, from Canada up north all the way down to Florida, and it's great conversations and information and friendships that you gain, which is fantastic. And then you get the actual conference where you get to do things like, go to class sessions when, like you guys, and you're doing your instructions. Like, how did you guys get involved from being not just a member to start doing the instructions part of it?
The teaching side of it came from, I was actually at another member's home. I had gone up to do some teaching for his business. He got a phone call from PWNA. I was standing next to him. They were talking about him teaching his class that he had taught before. He had a commitment and he couldn't do it. And he said, I got just the right person for you. And turned around, asked if I was interested. And I've been teaching ever since, really. And that's kind of how I got on the teaching side of it.
Well, I met both of you at your class. That was one of the first classes that I took. And what I got out of that class was it just gave me as a newbie a whole lot more confidence to know what I'm doing. And you have to take as much information as you can and do. I'm still responsible with using that information as a member or as I guess, an attendee of your class. But you two, the energy in your classroom is amazing. I love how it is for people who are new into the industry, or even if they want to learn more about their pumps and this and that, because sometimes we do a whole equipment changeover. But what your class provides too is somebody new hasn't even bought equipment. You're more than free, and you guys are more approachable even outside of the classroom to talk to that newbie and try and help them find what equipment that they need. And then if you don't carry it or whatever, sending them over to the people who do carry it on the floor. So
well, we're also in a unique position from the standpoint that as suppliers, we can talk directly to manufacturers. So there's a lot of times where new equipment comes out that nobody knows about just yet. And I think part of our job is to help bring that to the table to not only the newbie, but even the old experienced veterans, to say, here's something new, something different, and here's how it works. And because of that relationship we get with the manufacturers, which is a little closer than the average contractor, we're able to provide that much better.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's definitely not just for the newbies, for anybody at any part of their career. There's so much valuable information when going to any of your classes. Now, the last conference, what class did you teach at the last conference, and why was this class important to you?
The lab, we did the Joes to Pros, which is just your basic intro class. I shouldn't really call it basic. That's not fair to the class.
It builds a foundation. Joe's to Pros class builds a foundation for anybody that's getting into pressure washing. I've talked to people for so many years over the telephone, and most people, they didn't go to school to get into pressure washing. Some they didn't even go to school once in a while. But for the most part, they come in, they are curious about what the equipment is. They're curious about all of this info they don't know about yet. And where do they get that info? We have a wonderful opportunity with the PWNA conventions to bring that info to them. Although it could be a short little period, we provide an awful lot of information in a short period, which could be overwhelming, but at the same time, we try to get them to step out of that class with a fundamental, kind of a basic foundation that they can build upon. If they can walk out knowing at least some of the different equipment that's in front of them, some basic understanding of substrates and chemicals and kind of how to work with them, then we feel like we've done our job. If we just kind of let them run through and throw them all this information, but we try to do it in a way that's going to let them have that foundation they can build on, and really then there's so much in front of them, but they have a good starting point.
I can't tell you how many people we've saved from either over purchasing, under purchasing, overbidding, underbidding. There's a lot of money that can be saved not only by attending our class, but by just being involved in PWNA. And again, not just our class, but all of the different classes. Somebody will say, well, why do I want to join that? Why do I want to spend that money on something like that? It's really just one thing that could save you so much more than whatever our rate is at this point.
It helps them fast track it. I'm sure
really
Joy,
does.
when she took the first class, went home with a whole different attitude of, hey, I can fast track my business in ways I hadn't thought of before.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would, what kind of equipment do I want? It narrowed it down to what I was looking for and what my demographic would be here. Am I going to go and clean skyscrapers? No, because we don't have one within 100,000 kilometers from us. Like, it's just not my thing. So definitely you can guide people and take pieces away so you can stay focused on what you really need and to save your money and time.
Many customers come to us with wants, and kind of by the time I'm done with them, I got them more into what they need. And part of that isn't because I want to direct them, but I want to work their business plan with them. And so I ask them a lot of questions, and in the end, they'll find out what they thought they wanted sometimes isn't anywhere what they really needed. And we can either save them money or time or effort by working that business plan from the go with them. And that way, once they get into their purchases or once they even move into different areas of the business, they're not spending money wastefully. They're not getting equipment that they're never going to use because we've talked with them. And half the battle is trying to understand where that customer is, what he's trying to do, and where he's trying to go. And for us, I think we're one of the few companies that talk with people like that, which I think helps them the most.
Wow, that's very well said. Giving the customer not necessarily what they want, but what they need. That's extremely valuable. Now, being a industry partner with the PWNA, can you maybe share a little bit of the things that you feel helped your business being an industry partner, and something that maybe other vendors might be thinking about, joining, becoming a PWNA member industry partner? How has it helped your business?
I think for us, it's an affiliation with a recognized leader in the industry. Our business plan has been always to sell quality materials, sell quality products, and give outstanding customer service. And that's what we've had with PWNA, and that's what we see that PWNA has given to the contractor members, and how PWNA has treated us. It's a professional industry, a professional organization, and it's really nice to be associated with that type of an association.
Excuse me, PWNA has, for all the groups, and I belong to a number of them over the years, has always had the most professional people around. So I've wanted to surround myself with that. That's very helpful to my growth personally. Secondly, I can give you a credible example. A number of years ago, they were shutting down pressure washers throughout Georgia, North Carolina. The PWNA stood as a voice. Now, we were members, so we were able to sit with other members and help write best management practices for wastewater recovery. We've helped people keep their jobs when they were shutting down from the lack of water with droughts. We said you can't take people's livelihoods from them. So we worked with government people, and without PWNA's involvement, there is no way we would have taken that. My own livelihood was in jeopardy because if the contractor can't work, I can't sell anything to somebody. So we wanted to keep everybody working, and we worked with PWNA through that to literally educate, inform, say, the politicians, which allowed us then to keep working. So that involvement was absolutely priceless.
Wow. Yeah, I can see the value there. And like you stated, there's been plenty of times when issues have come up in the pressure wash industry where us as board members and members, we collaborate together and speak what's the best way to try and move things forward in the industry. You know, it's not just one or two person. You have so many people with all their input and thinking, okay, how do we work together now? So if we have an issue, to adjust this issue, to address this issue, what can we do to make the industry better, safer, more powerful, more educated, all the things that PWNA, we really push, especially that safety aspect of it. So we don't have people out there doing things without the education behind it and the professionalism that should be held in the power wash industry. And like we've already mentioned previously, I have attended your classes. They have been very valuable to me. I've learned so much about pumps, and I've gone to 2 classes just to freshen up because you guys have so much new information that will come as well. So always to try and stay on top of my knowledge. It's great to attend your classes. And Joy, you mentioned you've attended their classes as well at the yearly conventions, right?
I have, and I even sometimes now pop in just because I like seeing the excitement on all the other people that are sitting there watching or being involved in their class for the first time.
Well, I can tell you that I have taught wood classes, the Joe's to Pros class, the pump rebuild classes. And, you know, from time to time, it's a matter of, I sit on the phone every day and sort of teach people just because they have a lot of questions. So from that standpoint, the classes are a great way for me to get in front of them. But with everything about PWNA that is good for me, it's still the camaraderie and the fact that I can see people face to face that sometimes I only talk to on the phone. I've had people that I've known for 5 or 6 years doing business with. First time I ever met them was at a PWNA convention. And it's so wonderful to meet your customer face to face once when otherwise you never see them. And the camaraderie and, like we said earlier, the family feeling that you get from the members of PWNA, there are some bonds that'll never be broken.
Agreed.
Definitely. You know, the relationships and I, you know, I consider you guys dear friends. You know, it's something when you can bump into each other out in Colorado and enjoy each other's company. Go check out a band. You know, what a small world.
Oh, yeah.
That we live in, you know, and you guys have always been great to me. Any questions, there's so much I've learned, but you're always willing to help. And that's the biggest thing, or give other options and things that we don't always do the same thing every day. I got into a little bit of wood and some different things that, you know, something I don't have every day, but I like to be able to offer it, just to be able to have that knowledge for someone at your level. And also the products and the tools to be able to do that. You guys are great members to the industry and just what all you give. Tracy, I know one year we weren't at the PWNA convention, but another one where we were teaching and we didn't have a guy that could show up for the class. And here's Tracy jumping on a plane to come down and help us out. Not only, you know, us, but the other guys that are there wanting to attend the class and come down and really save the day for us. And I'll never forget that. There's just relationships and things that we've had over the years that that's what we're all here for, you know. So we really appreciate what all you do. But you know, a little bit on PWNA, just so everybody knows, if you haven't checked it out, check out our memberships, check out our benefits, check out our vendor discounts and different things that they do for you out there. But one of the big things is our enterprise membership, where we've got over 40 classes where you can pick Spanish or English. And they're not only in hands-on, like, you know, house wash and different things, but also in the safety aspects that help you be safe, keep your employees safe. And so we're constantly adding to that. We have some exciting things coming out very soon that are going to take it up to another level. But we've got every kind of course that you need out there to really grow and do better in your business, as well as business classes now that can help you run your numbers, run your business, be able to have a plan out there. So just have everything. We want to be able to have a benefit for everyone out there. So we do love the training part. You know, I was told to join PWNA when I got into it. It took my learning curve way up really fast. And so we're always liking to do regional events. We have a PWNA trailer where we do hands-on. And so coming up, the events I can think of, and please forgive me if I forget one, is we've got Washapalooza here in Sanford, Florida. I'll be there on April 24th and 25th to do some hands-on training. PWNA will be there as well. We'll do a little paver sealing. The Farm Fest, I think, is coming up in July 25th and 26th in New Jersey. And then we have our convention in Reno, Nevada this year, September 25th and 27th. So we always want to have plenty of events out there that we can get out in front of you, do some hands-on training, but really meet you, get you in our network where we can help you grow your business. But I just want to thank you, Kimberly and Tracy. You guys have just been wonderful to the PWNA, but just wonderful to all the guys that are out there in the business. We know you, I consider you guys dear friends. So I appreciate you guys coming on and getting in front of our members and just letting us know more about you guys, what you offer, what PWNA offers. And we want to do a lot more of these so we can show people what they have with their PWNA members. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Just in closing here, anyone that's watching now, if you are a vendor member or a contractor member and you would like to be maybe spotlighted on a guest video like this, please go ahead and go to pwna.org/contact us and submit your request there. If you're currently a PWNA contractor member or vendor member, remember, please check out the member benefits page. We're constantly updating it with so much valuable information, things like exclusive discounts, business development, like Clint said, supplier deals, insurance and healthcare. There's so much information on that and much, much more. Again, that's at pwna.org. And thank everyone for watching. Thank all of you for joining us today for the video. And we'll see you again next time. Thanks, guys.